welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy stinking Thursday, almost Friday here. Man, it truly is now. We're within a week of Christmas. The holidays are really upon us. I mean, some would say the holidays were already upon us when Thanksgiving happened, Zach. It was already set. But we're going to talk about, it's a festive time nowadays here. We are less than a week from Christmas, but guess what? The bigger thing here for a lot of fans, we're 2 days away from, we could say, is an early Christmas gift. Ravens Steelers in Baltimore, Saturday, 4:30. Huge week, a lot to cover in that. And let's talk about what we have on the rest of the show. We're going to have our friend of the show, friend of the program, Qadry Ismail is going to join us here in the next few minutes to talk about this Ravens-Steelers rivalry and maybe one of his best moments that he had in that specific rivalry. And then we're going to jump into a little bit of football news, and we'll get a little bit of baseball coverage. Look, if you guys are looking for more of our baseball coverage, well, then you got to tune into our Hot Stove every Wednesday night. That was a good time last night. We will have that out on the audio platform, but we will talk about a couple moves or things that we are monitoring. And then stop traffic at 4 p.m. Baltimore Ravens long snapper Nick Moore is going to join us to talk about this upcoming game with the Steelers. And also, I wonder who he's choosing for the college football playoff. Spoiler alert, he's very biased.
Yeah, I think he might be a little biased. That's for sure. I'm excited to call him out for the easiest path to a championship I've ever seen in the history of the 12-team playoff. I've never seen a path easier.
Well, until they have to play Boise State, baby. Yeah, baby. But we do. It's just Zach and I again here today. The rest of the group's running around. They got to do their thing. But, guys, happy holidays. We're going to have another show coming up on Monday, but we also are going to have our pregame show on Saturday before the Ravens Steelers and before the college football games. I think we're going to do one in the morning, Zach.
Yeah. Roughly
10:30 till noon. So get you ready for football Saturday. Should be a lot of fun and really cannot wait. You know, I'm curious for the chat here. What are some of your favorite holiday stories? We're at that time. You know, we have some friends here. I can't give away any secrets, but I just had lunch with Santa, Zach.
Yeah.
Literally had lunch with Santa today. Or at least that's what he goes by around this time of year. We want to hear your story, so we'll highlight some throughout the show and be able to talk more about it. Do you have any fun Christmas holiday stories that you can remember?
If I'm being honest, sadly, probably my most memorable holiday Christmas, I guess, story is sadly the Antonio Brown reach across. I remember
you had to say that.
Yeah, that just was permanently, like, I remember everyone at my aunt's house. We're all sitting down. Everyone's watching the game. Like, things are going great. It's a great Christmas. You know, love is in the air, the holiday spirit. And then I remember taking probably an hour walk afterwards because I was like just by myself. Didn't really know didn't know the neighborhood, obviously. Just my aunt just went for a walk. I just had to go I was like, God, that just happened. Juszczyk scored too soon. Really just a tough one.
Thank you for bringing that back to my memory.
That's what I'm here for.
You know what I did for that holiday? I told myself anytime that there is a turnover, every touchdown that the team scores, you take a shot. When there's a turnover, you take two. I remember there was a lot that happened, especially down the stretch there. And then for that final moment, I can just say that the drinks just started adding up there.
Yeah.
And I had to just have a different recollection of the game. But thank you for reminding me that the Steelers won on a heartbreaking fashion, Zach. But I mean, that's what this rivalry is.
Heartbreaking.
Right? Well, for one side or the other, right now it has been Steelers, but it's been one-sided. Pittsburgh's won the last, 8 of the last 9 matchups in this series. And people can talk all they want about, the Ravens haven't had their guys playing in games. I'm kind of enough of all that. Like, I'm done with any excuse. This is for the division. Steelers win on Saturday. They clinch the AFC North. If they lose, Baltimore and Pittsburgh are tied for the division. And whammy, here we go with 2 weeks to go. Now, Baltimore will still have to get a little bit of help as far as tiebreakers are concerned, but you got to win here. This also marks the first time Lamar Jackson is playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Baltimore when it wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
First time there's going to be fans in the stadium when Lamar Jackson's quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. So many different things. And one thing that we do know is these games come down to the wire, Zach. There is no such thing as the B word
No,
There's no such thing as the blowout.
I put the tweet out actually while we were on the show on Monday, and I said Justin Tucker field goal to win the game, mark it down. And people were responding like, well, I hope it's not that close. I hope it doesn't come down to that. Listen, I do too, but if you've ever watched Ravens Steelers, it's going to come down to a kick. Like it's just there's an inability for them to play 2-score games, no matter what the records are, no matter if it's backups versus starters, backups versus backups, starters versus starters. It's going to come down to the end. I don't care if one team's 15-0, the other team's 0-15. When these two teams meet, it's going to be a one-possession game, and it's going to come down pretty much to whoever has the ball last, whether they can score.
Oh, yeah. It always comes down to the end. Always. And that's what makes a rivalry great, but it makes it stressful. And I think for a lot of Ravens fans here, it has been a stressful ride here. For whatever reason, you can say that the Chiefs have a lot of that voodoo magic. Well, when the Ravens play the Steelers, Pittsburgh has that too, especially when it's at Pittsburgh. But they have found ways to beat Baltimore more ways than one, and all eyes are going to be on this game. There's a lot of great games around the NFL, but Ravens Steelers is a reason why it's at 4:30. And I love the fact, actually, it's going to be on Saturday here, Zach, not because it's with the college football playoff situation, but people are going to be home. You don't have to really worry about your consequences on Sunday. Maybe you're going to be tailgating a lot before the game. Maybe we got a nice little present over here for the tailgate. I love Deep Eddy, man. Yeah. I mean, we are stocked up now.
That's one way to put it.
For this holiday.
That is one way to put it for sure. So,
I mean, it's, well, not the nerds.
Yeah, I was going to say hit the wrong button there.
I don't think there's any nerds left in that, by the way.
No, thanks, Rocco. I've actually now hit the wrong button twice in the past 3 minutes. The issue is right now, this is just a behind the scenes thing. Our cameras are 1 and 4. I don't know why they're 1 and 4 right now, but I got to like stretch to go from 1 to 4. I should have made it 1 and 2, but that's besides the point.
That is besides the point. I'm very sorry for that. And before we get into all of the Ravens conversation here, and before Q joins us, I did see, Joe, you mentioned about a Christmas story. So I'll do this more on the heartfelt one. And I do understand people have asked me to actually talk a little bit more about stories. So I'll give you a story for me growing up. And this is not a funny story. This is just a realistic, you remember these things as you grow older. And for me, it was one of the fondest memories I had with my grandfather, Cal Sr. You know, I was fortunate on my mom's side to have grandparents for a good portion of my life here. And I still have my grandfather on my mom's side. Didn't have that same situation with my dad's side. My grandfather, Cal Sr., passed when I was 5 years old. And so there's not a lot of memories there when you're younger trying to figure things out or, you know, put the pieces together. But one of those stories that I had around the Christmas holidays, we'd go up to Aberdeen, and every single time Cal Sr. would set up these trains. And I was just enamored with just seeing these trains go along the basement. And he'd pick me up, put me in his lap, and try to explain everything to me. And through all the Christmas memories I've had throughout my life so far, being 31, that is one that I still hold dearly. It's one I still hold on to. So when I tell people that give me great baseball stories about Senior, I love to hear that, because one of the memories that I hold on for him is that one with that little kid that was 5 years old with blonde hair, having a moment with his grandfather. So that is one of my holiday stories. I have some other fun ones, but we'll save that for a different time here as we move on to the show. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Monday and Thursday. I thought I heard a ding come in.
Yeah, dinged in, dinged out. I think quick technical difficulties.
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll get him in here. So it's going to be a great, great day. And you know what, Steve? There are some big headlines I see right here talking about it. Now, I hate this line. I'm not even going to look at that. That line doesn't exist to me. I think the line is just really a pick 'em. That's how I look at all these Ravens Steelers games. Now, one thing that is interesting, and you bring up, we're going to talk about this. There is 2 storylines there, TJ Watt and George Pickens.
Yeah, actually, literally 1 minute ago, Adam Schefter, George Pickens has been ruled out. So I did not think that was going to come this early, to be honest. I thought that they were, even if he was, right now that he's not playing, I feel like it's kind of a strategic move to, I feel like most teams won't announce that, especially if it's 50-50. But Pickens will not be playing against the Ravens. That's a big win for the Ravens. Right there. That is George Pickens has been a thorn in the side of the Ravens ever since he entered the league. And I know there are a lot of great receivers out there. I don't think there's a better jump ball threat in the league right now. If you toss the ball up in George Pickens' vicinity, he's going to find a way to come down with it. Might not get both feet in. He has some of the wildest catches that aren't catches because he'll like stride 8 yards with a ridiculous stretch to get out of bounds somehow. But when it comes to catching the football, George Pickens is as good as it comes, and that is a massive storyline going into this weekend. If they, officially no George Pickens, and for the Ravens defense, stop the run now. That's going to be the big thing.
Well, and the one thing, if you're talking about the threat, the true threat on that Pittsburgh Steelers offense was George Pickens. Like, you look at what's one guy you don't want to beat you. And when you look at that, that was their priority number one. Do not let George Pickens have a day. It's the same thing when you play the Bengals, which unfortunately for the Ravens haven't stopped this man. They got 2 wins, but it's nowhere Jamar Chase is at all times. Try to prevent Jamar Chase from breaking it. That is Pittsburgh's version. So we will talk more about that. And I think, though, we got our guy back. I heard the ding.
Yeah.
He's in here. It's the holiday time. And hey, I think he knows a thing or two about this Ravens-Steelers rivalry.
Yeah.
So let's bring on former Baltimore Raven, former Super Bowl champion as well, our friend Qadry Ismail. Q, where is he? There he is. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys loud and clear. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hello, technical issues, but we worked it out.
Oh, and you know what, Q? You look great. The lighting's great. And you got the missiletraining.com sign right behind you. Move a little bit to the left right there, right.
So if I go.
There it is. Bingo. Man, is that some, do I see a picture right there of some good form running right there? Could you help me with my form running?
I'm telling you, this young man right here, when I grow up, I want to be just like him, is really cool because in missile training, what I'm teaching actually is the art of how to move correctly. And in moving correctly, you don't have the joint pain, you don't have the discomfort, you're able to just go about your day. And if you're a young athlete, like this young man is, then you put yourself in a great position to be durable. And we all know that if you're durable, you're going to play. So check out missiletraining.com, interact with me over there, and we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, for the athletes that are trying to obviously take their skills to the next level. But the biggest thing, Q, I was just talking about with one of my friends and some business associates, as you move on, you want to be functional. You want to be able to functionally do the things you want to do. In order to do that, your body's going to have to be put in the right position to be able to do that. It doesn't have to get all crazy. I mean, Q, there's a reason why you still look like you can play and can do your thing, man. It's all premeditated. It's you take care of yourself and you know what you're doing. And I'm surprised because there's these games, man, Ravens Steelers, you get your ass beat up in these types of games.
Yeah.
I want to play a video about, because one of the big injuries was TJ Watt, but just touch on this rivalry specifically, what people are going to be in store for in round 2 with Ravens Steelers.
Yeah, it started for me. Good God. As soon as the season began, I think there were a lot of doubters from the Steelers side of things because they didn't know what they were going to get with Justin Fields and obviously Russell Wilson. We obviously had high expectation. The flock knew that AFC Championship disappointment. Hey, this is a new year, new beginning. And then you get to the first game, and it's a classic Ravens-Steeler matchup where both teams, for whatever the reason, when they play one another, it's a close game. And I think what we see when it comes to Mike Tomlin and why he's had such great success against John Harbaugh in all these years, it's because he understands that formula. Hey, let's go ahead, hit them in the mouth. Let's not make any mistakes. Let them turn the football over. If we have a close game in that fourth quarter, chances are it's going to favor us. Again, when you look at the history of it all, it has turned out that way. To your point, when it comes to the overall rivalry, and even going way back to my day, I think it's just the passion of the fan bases. It's the close proximity to one another. Obviously, they're both blue collar-esque type towns. People are really loving their sports. It's their getaway, if you will. Both teams, they resemble their cities as far as just that workman, like, hey, let's go ahead and, be the underdog, if you will. Both cities have really rich histories on the baseball and football side of things to having championships from the Colts all the way into modern day, with the Ravens winning 2 Super Bowl championships in such a finite amount of time. And I think it just, it's a melting pot, Brian. It's like, and it just keeps building up into that pressure cooker. And so this time around, you got 2 teams. One, an AFC North championship opportunity is on the line if you win the game. You get a T-shirt, and it's a T-shirt type of game. The other team, they punch their ticket to the playoffs if they win this game. The other team trying to go ahead and play the role of the spoiler and put everything to bed and go ahead and sweep the other team and say, we got your bragging rights. Whereas this team, our team, the team in purple, they're looking at it as, man, this is the second game of the 4 games that we know we need to go ahead and take care of business, so then we can go ahead and get into that postseason play where all bets are off, no holds barred, anybody can do anything. All you got to do is get hot.
Yeah, you got to get hot and you got to get in first, right? And that's the biggest part of this whole thing is you got to get in. But make no mistake, you mentioned about the Ravens had high expectations. You're damn right. They're still trying to win this division, but all hope's lost if you lose this game. This is probably why people are saying this rivalry right now, Q, of, the early mid-2000s was, probably where everyone was like, man, that was the last time they had that feeling of hard-nosed football. Rules have changed some things, but where both teams had high aspirations. And it kind of feels like it's getting back to that now. Now, to help that is you got to have some great players in the game. Lamar Jackson's one of them. The other side of this, though, Q, is for the Steelers. There's 2 injuries. So the one news, Zach, right? George Pickens out.
Yeah,
for that one's official now.
So George Pickens out. One that very weirdly could actually have an impact is Justin Fields is also out. But TJ Watt, Justin Fields being out is kind of it takes a little bit of the diversity that, especially in those 3rd and 1, 4th and shorts, the Steelers love to bring Justin Fields on the field to put pressure on the defense. You lose that aspect, and then TJ Watt officially, they say, good to go. If you're watching the practice video, he's definitely favoring that ankle. But I think TJ Watt's just one of those guys where if Ravens Steelers is being played, he could have both legs amputated and he's going to be on that field. Yeah. So he's just one of those guys.
And let's play this clip for you, Q. TJ Watt was asked about it, of saying, all right, how you feeling, TJ? TJ gave his answer here moments before the game.
Or Saturday, I guess I should say. I felt pretty good this week. Obviously, it's a short week, but I felt pretty good.
A lot of things you could not do.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of things you do on the practice in a short week like this to push it. So we'll have to see how it feels on Saturday, but I feel pretty good right now.
Is it a management or a risk of further damage?
A little bit of both, but at this point of the year, everybody's dealing with stuff. So if I can go, I'll go.
And he will go.
And he's going to go. So, Q, whether he's feeling good, great, grand, or just complete shit, TJ Watt's going to be on that field playing the Ravens. That is the guy we know who is playing. So let's start with that. TJ Watt's going to play game wrecker, man. And obviously then for the Ravens offense, they got so many pieces they got to worry about on the defensive side. They got a good defense, but it starts with Watt. Watt completely changes that feeling of that Pittsburgh defense.
One of the things that we see with their defense that has been so successful, and the formula has been, we want to beat you up at the line of scrimmage. We want to go ahead and apply pressure to Lamar Jackson, and we're going to play a coverage that is not going to give up the big play. So if you apply pressure to Lamar, he's not going to be able to allow for his receivers to extend the play because they're playing that shell defense. Mm-hmm. And when you're rushing, you're not as on point and accurate. And we saw that come to fruition in the first game in Pittsburgh. I think this time around, Highsmith was out in that game with his ankle. His ankle was far worse than TJ's. He missed 3 games. Looks like TJ's going to give it a go. But with that, you got both guys that are going to be out there. I am of the mindset of as long as the Ravens don't hurt themselves, the turnovers. I know Todd Monk had really stressed that. It's like, look, when you look at these games, what is the one common factor? It's turning the ball over, period, end of discussion. So if you possess the ball, you move the ball. You move the ball, you give yourself an opportunity to score. And I think that's where, for the Ravens, it's going to be really super important. But that's where, again, I would attack TJ, give him a heavy dose of Pat Ricard, meet King Henry, and see how that ankle can hold up at the point of attack and make sure you seal off that backside so Highsmith and company can't come crashing down on the backside and not allow King Henry get into that second level.
And we know the value of King Henry getting going. And when the train's moving, Q, it's hard to stop that man. And especially feels like he's due. He hasn't had the big game that people have maybe wanted from Derrick here, like that one, like, oh, the signature Derrick Henry. And some people are starting to murmur this could be Derrick's chance to really solidify himself in this rivalry. You know, on the other side, we know Pickens is out, but Zach, the bigger news on the Ravens side, Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, in a boot in the locker room. So did not practice today. Going to be interesting to see what happens there. Hopefully just a precautionary thing, but especially over the past, like last week, the big career game, Rashad Bateman in the this season has been everything you could have asked for him. So that would be a big loss for the Ravens if he's not out there.
Yeah, Q, touch on that real quick. Bate, if Bate can't go, and we already know the Deontay Johnson situation, that would be a pretty substantial loss to a Ravens team that's come to rely on him.
Let me say this. With Bate, and the moniker of Big Play Bate is starting to grow, and clearly it's growing on me since week 1, where he had huge big play down the football field from Lamar in Kansas City. It just seems like every week he had some level of a big play, and clearly last week it was the multi-touchdown game where those were some big plays that he put up. And so with that, that's a big piece of your offense that's going to be missing if he can't go. I think it's interesting how Deontay Johnson, the big dummy, if you would have just been smart, bided your time, not been selfish and not been narcissistic about how or when or where you're going to play, but if you would have just focused in, you would have had your opportunity. Here would have been your opportunity, but oh no, now you're going to miss out. Big, dumb, stupid. Now we're going to go ahead as a flock, sit back and be like, oh man, now we got to figure things out. However, if one man's trash, Deontay Johnson, comes another man's opportunity, whether it be Nelson Aguilar, whether it be Tyler Wallace, and Tez Walker. Will Tez have enough of the mindset to be able to handle the pressure? Because let's make no mistake about it, New York was New York. This secondary, this front is way different than what they played in New York. The Giants made their mistakes. Tomlin and company, they ain't going to be doing all that. So can you be poised enough in your youthfulness to be able to handle the load? And that's going to be the challenge for him. I think he can handle it. Remains to be seen. But yes, that's where an Aguilar and a Tyler Wallace, if in fact Bate can't go, my mindset is, yes, you're going to need that. But then this is another opportunity for another guy who's kind of been quiet himself, and that's Isaiah Likely. And Isaiah, had some strong catches and opportunities in the Giants game, but I think this is a great opportunity for him to redeem himself. We saw what happened in the first game where he got the ball punched out and stripped away from him from Patrick Queen. Comeback moment for the young tight end to show that, hey, everybody talking about everybody else, but let's not forget number 80.
I'm telling you, man, somebody is going to have an opportunity to step up and really etch themselves into this Ravens-Steelers rivalry. Who's it going to be, though? We don't know, but we're hoping it's someone on the Ravens side. And with what is it? Is it's the Spider-Man with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Whatever I would say with great opportunity, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But it's a powerful moment. Q, I messed up, but I think we're getting
No worries.
right here. Zach's looking at me.
If we're talking for someone to step up in the wide receiver room, the Ravens are wearing the all purples, so that's Tylan Wallace's calling card.
Let's go.
So maybe another big play in the all purples from Tylan.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that all purple, for whatever reason, homeboy loves it. He does. He shows up and shows out. So
brings out.
My goodness, Zach, I'm telling you, it's amazing how they're just horses for courses, and it's a afternoon 4:00 game. So we know that the times he's had those big plays, Zach, is when it's been in those prime time moments.
Under the lights, Tylan Wallace.
Turn the lights off, baby. But also, we want someone to etch themselves into the history, just like Q, you did back in the day here, where, we see Hines Ward, but Q, you made Ravens Steelers history, man. You also took a shot right here. Before I had to show this before you get out of here. Yeah, right there on the side. You're hurting, you're Winston. My favorite thing is you run in for a touchdown and down you go. What
now,
happened?
Here's the crazy thing about it. That touchdown right there, this here was a skinny post that got converted because of the safety. When he hit me, I was like, man, I'm just going to go down. But it was really super cool because all I saw was the yellow of the end zone. And I'm like right here, like, okay, I can score. No one's around me. So it hurt so bad, but it felt so good to get into the end zone number 1. But then my lungs, my ribs.
But that was the thing right there. You weren't done. And this was the crazy thing, Q. And I know I want to get you out of here, but we're talking about legendary moments in this game. You got Cowher all pissed off here. That was, hey, you guys didn't. The offense for the Ravens, I think, was struggling in the first half. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then here you go again.
Another skinny post. So I am the receiver, just for context of modern day. That is the X receiver, which is what Rashad Bateman plays. Maybe that's my affinity for Rashad Bateman. But you can see where the linebacker dropped down in the hole. It was a cover 1. So it was man-to-man again. I stuck my foot in the ground off of Dwayne Washington, and the safety, he just took a bad angle. I think he got cut some games later because I had put him in such a bad bind, or he got benched. But that being said, when I caught the ball, it was just a beautiful opportunity to catch it and get up the field and score. This one is crazy because it was a stutter and go. I did my stutter and go off of Dwayne. Dwayne got his feet tangled up. Shame on him. It was my opportunity to have the big play. And, of course, the rest was history with the 6 catches for 258 yards. But this is one of those cases where, anybody can do anything when you have an opportunity, and you got to be able to take advantage of it. I am thankful that I was able to take advantage of it.
Q, that guy is torched. His jock is at the 25-yard line or wherever it was where you did the move. He ain't within 12 yards of you right there.
Incredible.
Literally man-to-man in my mind. There's third down and man-to-man. Everybody in the building know you're going to go ahead and throw the ball. Who's the go-to receiver? In my mind, I was like, I am going to be the go-to wide receiver. And so in this particular play, third down, coach called my number. It was a backside stutter and go, and no safety help. I knew all I needed to do was just make a good, strong move. I did. And sure enough, I was able to just run right underneath it for an easy score. Probably one of my easier scores that I've had in my time with the Ravens.
Oh, man. And just you did it all this game, Q, but to end it with it, hey, you're going to take your shots. You're going to keep going, but we need legends in this game, and then you can take a little rest when you have some success. But Q, appreciate it. We hope. I don't know if anyone's going to have that type of game on Saturday, but the point is someone's got to step up. You stepped up in that game and made it hurt. And hopefully that can set the tone. Somebody does that for Baltimore here on Saturday. Q, we'll see you on Monday then.
Absolutely. I'll check in with you guys on Monday, and we will make sure that we break it all down.
Appreciate you,
Appreciate
Q.
you,
Hey,
Q.
and everyone check out missiletraining.com. You see this guy move? I mean, it sounds like he's been
Yeah.
doing this for a living before.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Little bit.
appreciate
Appreciate you, fellas.
you soon.
That was awesome.
Q is great, man.
He's fantastic.
There's a reason why he's called the missile.
Yeah. Also, that I love the I got hit and I was like, oh, I gotta go down. Then I turned and I was like, well, the end zone's right there. So, and he was just like, you literally the first 5 yards after he gets hit, he's holding on to his ribs, like, oh, yep, nope, that does not feel good. Gets to the end zone, then he's like, okay, I can rest here. 250. I mean, unreal. 3 tutties.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need. That is what we need. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I will say the Justin Fields news is a lot. I've been seeing a lot of stuff.
It's very
about it.
interesting. And the reason why that is, it's your packages of what you can do.
Yeah,
Right?
It puts a lot of pressure on guys.
He does. He does. Hey, you know what? Not like this. We must protect this house. We must protect our house. We need that, right? But there's a chance, you know. I've seen the comments. Don't you worry. But I hope that doesn't happen this game.
Yeah,
especially specifically that way. Something's got to change. Something is going to happen. Either Pittsburgh is walking away as the 2024 AFC North champions, or maybe the Baltimore Ravens get even here, and now pressure's all on Pittsburgh. Because I'll tell you what, I know the Ravens have a tough finish going to play Houston. Pittsburgh's got to play Kansas City, and then you got to go and sweep the Bengals, which I know the Bengals haven't played as well, but it's tough to sweep divisional opponents. So,
and the Bengals are going to be fighting for their lives. They still have a chance to get in. It is as the weeks go on. The Bengals they got to win out, obviously, but there's they need the Broncos to take some losses, and they've got a tough schedule coming up as well. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We were going to talk baseball in between. We're going to save it for after because somebody has to change their schedule.
Yeah.
Nick Moore. He's going to join us here momentarily to talk about this upcoming matchup as well. Ravens, Steelers. It is going to be great. I just love the fact, though, with these two teams, I got a lot of respect for Pittsburgh, man. And I think the more and more you watch things with Hard Knocks, you just watch how the Steelers and Mike Tomlin go about it. Great coach. Great coach.
Tomlin's incredible.
It's a great coach.
Everything about Tomlin,
but all the
absolutely
things,
unreal.
all the people that are hating on the Ravens, and yes, the Steelers might have the Ravens number. Pittsburgh's still trying to change a narrative for the postseason. It's been 10 years
Close to, yeah. They
since
haven't
Pittsburgh has won a playoff game.
Yeah, so it is. It's very interesting because you think of Tomlin, and obviously you think of the streak. Has never had a losing season, all of that. But yeah, it not so much success in the postseason. Ravens have had slightly more success, but not much as well. So really, it's going to be. I think this is the year that AFC North team makes some noise in the playoffs. Let's see
man, I am hoping here. And you know what? We'll have Nick react a little bit to the. Do we have him react to the Dan or the Gruden with this?
What's happening? I feel like we reacted. Maybe, but do I do
Both?
Dan? Yeah,
Dan?
I mean,
Both?
I think there's a few options. We got a lot of good stuff.
We got a lot of good stuff here. The thing is, I love this rivalry, man. I love it. And you know what, Cube? I see it's tough to sweep the Bengals. Well, yeah, I understand a lot of points have been scored. Since
it was both overtime and on the last play of the game, though. So it was.
Well, not the Cube. Cube, there was a good chance that the Ravens were getting swept by the Bengals.
The Ravens were if that holder doesn't botch the snap, and if they. Let's just say if they called the face mask on the bank, whatever you want to say, Ravens could very easily be 0-2 versus the Bengals right now.
I'm telling you, the Bengals are a team. Good teams find ways to win. Bad teams find more ways to lose. The Bengals are somewhere in the middle. They're not winning enough of the close games, but offensively,
I'm scared of them.
I think Cincy can beat Pittsburgh. Oh, I don't know if they're sneaking in. That would
got a chance.
That would require the Chargers and the Broncos to lose out.
Yeah.
Now the Broncos and Chargers play tonight, so one of them more than likely is going to lose.
The Bengals need the Chargers to win tonight because then the Broncos have the Chiefs and then somebody else. So or somebody and then the Chiefs. So I think that's their best. It's just not. I cannot. I just have this fear of having to see Joe Burrow a third time and it keeps me up at night. Although I will say, because assuming they get the 7, that first matchup of Bills Bengals.
What are you talking about? Ravens are going to take the 2 seed. What are you talking about, man? Nah, just kidding. It's going to be.
I don't know about that.
It's going to be hard. But if you're new to the channel here, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We changed the schedule up here.
Yeah. Do we want to while we wait, we can do things I've seen on the internet?
Yes, that would be great. Before we have Nick Moore, we like to add our segment here, things Zach finds on the internet, or it's called Zach's browsing history. We're not sure what the name should be
not
yet.
Sure. But so apparently the Darts World Championship is going on right now.
Oh,
and
yes.
I will be there next time. Because the atmosphere in this place is calling my name like the Green Goblin mask is. Just check this out. 9 darts, I guess.
Crowd rise. Christian Kist, can he deliver? On the biggest stage of all, Christian Kist with a 9-0 The Dutchman, it's the first perfect leg of this year's World Championship, and he does it to take the opening set. They're dancing in the palace. Absolute perfection there, delivered every dart. There was no mistake, no hesitation. This is pristine Christian Kist.
I don't even know, but I'm finding this out.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen that other video of darts that gets thrown around there?
Oh, when the bullet enters?
Well, no, I was saying about they just did it. It just kept going. Everyone's going, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And it just continues on. And I'm like, I want to go be there. And I'm ready to, I'm terrible at shotgunning beers, but I just want to shotgun a beer and get in there. Like, that is unbelievable. That's the type of, you know what? They look very festive too. Looked like they were very into whatever the theme was for that World of Darts.
Okay, so this one is in.
Those are our people.
Yeah, so this is in London, so it makes it a little bit tougher. But
British Raven, Nick.
We're coming next year.
Yeah,
get the guest room ready.
You know what? I was thinking about this. Next time we figure that out, I will pay for him to go to this event. Nick,
yes, Nick,
I will pay for you to go to this. If we're not, we're already going.
Yeah, and of course, already on it. Incredible to watch live. Yeah, this is this needs to happen.
Why aren't we there? Can we make one here? Oh my God, we're getting a dartboard.
Yeah. I saw this atmosphere and I was like, okay, this is where I belong.
That is, I got to find that other video where the guy goes for like the perfect score.
Do they have one in? I think they have one in America.
I don't know what it is. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Darts also, by the way, sneaky, not even sneaky. It is a hell of a lot of fun. You're around a garage, or hell, you're going to be in a studio space where we have all this space trying to do more activities. Think about putting one right up here, but maybe not right behind me.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, that
Rocco's in here.
Will get the wrong idea.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. What else did you find on the internet, Zach?
We don't need
it anymore.
Yeah, that was, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that is the greatest atmosphere I've ever seen. I love that everyone is dressed up. There's not a person wearing just street clothes in sight. So
time out. I'm pulling it up again because I just want to see the atmosphere. Like, look at that. Like,
unreal.
Are you kidding me? Are there a lot?
They have so many elves.
Oh, I love the elves. I was Buddy the Elf for Halloween years back. I would fit. I don't know if I still have that costume, but I'd fit right in. That ugly Christmas sweaters right there. That's just what the people want. I got to hear the volume one more time.
Yeah.
Here we go. Sorry.
Perfect leg of this year's World Championship, and he does it to take the opening set. They're dancing in the palace.
The background is incredible.
Absolute
Unreal.
Can we have that in the lots this Saturday in Baltimore? Can we have that energy here? Well, I think we are going to have that energy.
Yeah, that is, oh my goodness. And just everything about that. That's the energy we need, just 24/7.
And that is our segment, Zach's Browsing History, which has continued to be a fascinating and fun, entertaining segment. So thank you, Zach. And a good time while we wait, though, for Nick Moore. It's a good time to shout out our sponsors as we take a ride on our Adams Jeep. Beep, beep, I got a Jeep. Our friends at Adams Jeep up in Aberdeen, 5 minutes from the Ironbird Stadium. we're riding casually around the holidays. And if you are looking for a vehicle, check out Adams Jeep of Maryland, used or new. You can have either. And if you go up there and you use the phrase Rocco sucks, they might give you a gas card up to $1,000. Or if you just say you love the Ryan Ripken Show, just tell Chuck and Matt we say hello. They have been the OG from us from the start, and we appreciate everything that they've done for us. So, and if you need help with your car, because I've gone up there to have my car taken care of, unfortunately, more times than I would like, they are the best. Hands-on, great service, and they are good kids, as I like to say in my book. So, Adams Jeep of Maryland, appreciate you guys. I think Nick just fell off the face of the
Did
earth.
he texted to say he was if he joins at 4:00 anyway, like
He goes, I know he's got family things going on, but he goes, can I hop on? Now is the time. Drop the link. He wanted to rename the show too.
What?
And I go, what? Do we want to name it, the Ryan Ripken and Soft Georgia Peach Show? I don't know. Like, this is tough. While we're waiting, though, let's talk a little bit more about the Ravens here without Nick Moore. And I think this conversation, this will be number one. I think that Kyle Brandt did a great job, Zach, of just explaining everyone freaking out about this MVP award.
Yeah.
It's been I think it's been a lot of things have been skewed recently on how it's perceived. So Kyle Brandt essentially gives his take on what the MVP conversation is, and it's not the normal take that everyone's talking about, and I think it's great for everyone to listen to. So let's play that and react on the other side.
The MVP talking industry is so bloated and so oversaturated, I don't even think it knows what it is anymore.
Dive right in, Kyle.
I think it's become like power rankings. You just do it, and it always gets engagement, and it's kind of candy and fun, but philosophically, where are we at? What leads the MVP? In this segment alone, I've heard it all, and I get it. Akbar just said the eyeball test. I've heard that phrase. I don't know what that means necessarily. I know it's a catchy phrase, but does that mean if Lamar would get a lateral and score a touchdown, then he would be the MVP because the eyeball, a push pass, he shouldn't do more of that? I've heard prime time, and Peter said that the hay's in the barn for Josh Allen. However, in those last 3 games for Josh Allen, he might put up huge statistics. That when we put up the side-by-side, he has more touchdowns. I don't even know what it is, and it just starts to feel like a high school election at this point, like a student council election. It's like, who's the cool guy? Who does the best skit? Who gives the funniest speech? Because if Lamar doesn't win it this year, and everyone's going to say, what the heck? Pull up the side-by-side stats. Do you want to look at Lamar's stats from last year? Because they're not great for an MVP. He's had much better years statistically, and yet he won the MVP because Lamar was the coolest kid last year, and he had the coolest team, and they were front runners. And then there's the other part. Yes, Lamar beat Josh Allen head-to-head, but that was early in the season. It's like college football. Notre Dame lose to Northern Illinois early in the season, and it gets forgotten about. It's just up is down, down is up. I don't even know what the discussion is anymore. And if you say, well, when I turn on the TV, I see Josh Allen. He is the best player. So he's the MVP. But Lamar's stats are better. It's just a snake eating its own tail. I honestly think it used to be a fun little honor at the end of the year. Now it's a whole industry in and of itself. It starts like in week 2, you start hearing murmurs about the MVP. But I also feel like now it's decided by like week 13. Yeah. This should come down the stretch with these two guys. You even hear commentators. They'll be like the big ones. Josh Allen or Lamar will be playing, and you hear them still say, here he is, likely MVP Lamar Jackson. They just straight up say it on the call, and this is like a week 15 game when there's a lot of football left to be played. So for me, Josh Allen, I think it is, but I'm here for a Lamar Jackson case. I don't know even what to do anymore at this point, and I can't be alone.
Good point.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to describe it. And also, you don't have to talk crap about the other players. Try to say, oh, well, hey, you know what? Well, Lamar Jackson. Like, I see fans on X or any social media, and it's like, well, oh, you're just jealous that Josh is better. I'm like, they're both stinking good, man. And really, every single year you could make the case Josh could have won it last year. Yeah. Lamar can win it this year. They both are so sensational. I think the point is it's become a conversation. And yeah, we talk about it, but when we do, we go, it's kind of crazy that we're having these conversations early. There really is no, I don't want to say metric for what defines an MVP player. What we do know, Zach, It's not the running back or any other skilled position player.
It's quarterback.
It's a quarterback award.
Mhm.
But then how do you define it? Oh, Josh Allen has less talent around him? Well, all right. Well, Lamar Jackson, did they have a 1,000-yard receiver last year?
No.
Is that the reason why he won the MVP? No. It's because he balled out on Thanksgiving or on Christmas against the Niners, and that was the last impression that people had. And then he played the Dolphins, and that was a wrap.
Yeah, and I like how Kyle put it at the end. He goes, right now, I think Josh Allen's the MVP, which I agree. I think right now Josh Allen's the MVP, but I'm open to a Lamar Jackson conversation. I think that's perfect. You can say there's a favorite, like, oh, I think this guy's favorite at the point to win. There are 3 games left. Like, as big of a lead or you think Josh Allen has or whatever, if Josh Allen throws 7 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and the Bills go 1-2 over the final 3 games, and Lamar puts up MVP performances on prime time, then it's probably going to go to Lamar. But we don't know. I think at the moment, Josh Allen is having the MVP season. He's gotten, got the enough statistics to back it up. He's got the big plays, as much. I know the whole lateral with Amari Cooper is the one people talk about. I think the play against the Chiefs, the touchdown run's the big one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's more, what it's being decided off of. I agree with Kyle. It does feel almost high school, like prom king, queen-esque, where it's like, okay, just who's doing the coolest stuff? It's the same thing that happened with Lamar last year. Lamar had all these cool moments, and people were like, hey, throw the stats away. We love Lamar. So I can't be upset with it.
No,
I think the only thing I'm upset about is what you talked about. We can't talk about one without someone taking down the other or thinking it's a shot the other. I literally posted on Twitter after the Ravens game Lamar Jackson's stats and was like, what a way to come back from a bye week. And literally like 4 hours later, someone commented underneath it was like, he was like, all that just for the real MVP to put on a better performance. Where did I bring up Josh Allen? Where did anyone bring up? I post stuff about, hey, I love watching Lamar play football. And the first 3 comments are, this is why he's MVP over Josh Allen. This is why Josh Allen's on him. It's like, guys, hot take. I like watching both play football. I think it's fun.
Hot take. I love watching greatness.
Yeah.
I love watching great players play.
I think it's fun to watch these guys.
I think it's cool. Yeah. I think it's great. And you know what? If the other one does something cool, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. And I'm going to sit here and go, wow, I can't believe we get to watch this player that's this talented as a fan of the sport. And that's the part. You can love your team, but if you're like us, where you appreciate talent, what Josh Allen did over the last 2 games, phenomenal. Mm-hmm. What Lamar Jackson has done the entire season, phenomenal. So just throwing it out there, but we'll see what happens here. The Steelers and Texans are the next 2 opponents for Baltimore. Does Lamar have another Jackson 5 in him? That's going to be hard, but if he does it against those teams, guess what? We're going to have another moment of saying, wow, Lamar Jackson just had another really cool moment. So we will see what happens. A lot of good kids. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're still trying to find a wild Nick Moore. Apparently he's having trouble connecting.
Yeah, he's hopping. I've seen him hop in and out like twice. He actually, in classic Nick Moore fashion, as soon as we started playing the video that we were going to react to while waiting for Nick Moore, as he joined in. So I was like, of course. But then he dipped out. So we'll see what happens. He just texted that he's trying to, I don't know what's happening.
You know what?
Famous
does
words
he go
from Nick
to?
Moore.
Do you need to go and
ask him to use Chrome or just
to general settings?
We're trying to, device is not connected. Q had the same issue though.
And add your camera to StreamYard. I think we need to get Nick a book, a tutorial.
We might just need to get Nick an assistant.
Yeah.
Just to
at this point in time.
Honestly, Nick, if you're watching, just join on your phone or something.
Yeah. And we can't name the show to Ryan Ripken and the Soft Georgia Peach until you actually join the show. But he's a good kid. He's definitely not here in this. Also, just seeing news, and this hurts my fantasy team. Alvin Kamara has been changed from questionable to doubtful.
Yeah.
For this week. And it kind of felt like it was going to be the case dealing with that adductor. And as a guy in a dynasty league that dropped Patrick Taylor, and it looks like Patrick Taylor is going to possibly be in line to start, with Isaac Guriendo, the third string running back for the 49ers, unlikely to play against the Dolphins this Sunday. So, man, you didn't have the backup for the backup.
Yeah, if you didn't take the backup, you're kind of screwed right now in fantasy because don't you love it?
Don't you love it? Well, we love it and we love you. While we try to figure out if Nick Moore is able to connect up.
Oh,
no.
I told him to do the phone. It worked.
Yeah, it worked a lot better. And now we just got to look at that ugly mug from that angle. We'll try to have him fix the camera that way.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he can hear us. He can
hear us now?
Yeah, oh, he can hear us.
He definitely can. Well, let's bring on a new member of the Ryan Ripken show, and Ryan Ripken and the Soft Georgia Peach. Let's bring on future Pro Bowler Nick Moore. Nick!
I apologize. I have no idea what's happening on my computer. It's not picking up my camera at all or my mic. It's saying there's no access. So,
I mean,
you got cut. It's like that Jamal Adams video where it's like, damn, did they cut me already? When he's trying to get in the building.
Yeah. Yep. You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Fortunately or unfortunately.
Look, it says no access, bro. I guess you guys cut me.
We did. I
figured as much. Well, I'm here.
Well, when you kept saying that you quit, Nick kept texting me.
I forgot about that.
Nick just keeps texting me, I quit. And it's like, well, I guess that's just a Georgia thing. You know, like, got to just quit.
Quitting the dogs, bro. 8 overtimes against Tech. Come on, man. Overtime against Texas, bro. We don't quit.
Which, before we get into anything, dumbest thing about college football overtime is the fact that they make both teams walk down the whole 100 yards to the other end zone each time. Just stay in the one end zone. There's no reason. They walked, it was like, I think it was like 1,400 yards back and forth just in the overtime. It's just, I feel for the refs or the side judges because they just got to, they got to carry those first down sticks all the way down.
But why do you need a first down stick after a while? Just
you don't need one.
Well, no, but they need one. There's literally just one guy who's there for the where the ball's spotted. He just has to go and stand there. So tough scene.
Yeah, and Georgia does have the best path to the championship by far. Oregon got kind of hosed as being the number one team. That's a tough draw. Tennessee or Ohio State as the winner.
Yeah, that's not.
It doesn't matter.
Catching all the breaks, man. It's all right. True team will show. Oh, goodness gracious. Nick's going to be insufferable if Georgia wins.
I'm going to say when Georgia. I just think they're just that team right now. They had the adversity. They fought adversity. They came back. They got this path. They just they're going to have to just beat up on a team that already had a tough path.
Yeah. We'll see. Boise State. Don't let Boise State get hot, baby. Do not let those Broncos get hot. Rachel and my brother-in-law are going to that game, going to the Fiesta Bowl. And I'm like, damn, I might need to go to this game too. It'd be electric. Be sick, Nick. It would be sick.
It would.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's a fun week. So it's college football Saturday. You're a little busy.
Yeah.
You have a game at 4:30 in case you didn't know. Did you just find that out?
Yeah, you guys just informed me. I thought we were playing on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm sure. Actually, I know Nick's joking this time, but I would believe Nick.
No doubt in my mind. If you were dead serious, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah,
I only know the days of the week based on what type of practice we're having. So
that makes sense.
It's 2 days before the game because we had a Friday practice.
So you're in Friday mode right now.
He is in Friday mode. Happy Friday, Nick.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, boys.
Yeah, we need. You know what? So the Deep Eddy group got us ready for the tailgates. They got us, dude. You're not going to partake in this, but when you do come down, you remember the time Nick said he'd come down to the studio. When Nick does get down here, we got a bunch of these packs, but they might all be gone by the time. We're going to be making orange crushes on Saturday while you get ready for the biggest game of the year. Nick, I got to be honest, man. If Pittsburgh wins in Baltimore on Saturday, it's not going to be a good feeling for anybody.
You're right about that.
Thank you, because I'm always right. How are you guys feeling about this match number 2? We had Q on, Qadry on before you, and he just talked about this game. Just it means a little bit more now for a lot of reasons. Division, but it's also a rival.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys are ready to rock. I feel like we had a really good week of practice, coming off a short week. Everybody seems locked in, seems focused. We had 3 really good days, and it's a huge game because it's the next game. It's a huge game because it's the Steelers. It's a huge game because it has implications on the division. We owe these guys. They've gotten the best of us the last several times. We're due for a good game against them, and really, I just think we need to play to our standard. I feel like last week we played pretty well. We had that first drive was going really well, and then the fumble, and then after that, we kind of settled down and things got going. We got into a groove on offense. Lamar was doing what Lamar does, and I think it was good for us coming off the bye, playing like that in a game where, in the past we've not played good in a game like that, and for us to be able to come off the bye after a tough loss to Philly and really set the record straight and get everything going and look like a well-oiled machine, it was really good to be a part of and really good to watch, and it was great for the team. And moving into this week, it's like I said, it's the biggest game because it's the next game. And for us, I think we know what's at stake here. And they're coming into our place, and we can't be having them doing, we can't let them run away with a game like they did last time. I feel like we left a lot on the table last time. Defense stepped up great, but offense and special teams, we weren't quite there. So we can put together a game like we have, last week and multiple times prior to that. I feel like we're going to put ourselves in a really good position to win the game and also put us in a good spot in the division. So our goal is still to win every game and win the division. That's still our goal, and we still control our destiny as long as we play the football that we know we're capable of playing and what we've been practicing for and preparing for. I think we'll be ready to go on Saturday afternoon.
I think so too. And we're hoping so, right? I think that everyone, and not even just like for a psychological thing, Nick, like it's just talk about with baseball all the time. You keep hearing all the same thing. I've heard like the weirdest shit happens when Ravens play Pittsburgh, whether it's the games aren't as clean, whether just Pittsburgh finds a way to win or whatever it may be. It might be the ugliest thing we've ever seen. Oh, Ravens are resting guys. The reality is Pittsburgh's won the games recently. In baseball, it's like, all right, you're sitting there. I'm like, I just need to see something hit the outfield grass. I need my bat to shatter and just to have a hit. Let me taste a hit when you're in a slump, right? Ravens aren't in a slump, but that same feeling of you get by Pittsburgh, then you're going, okay. Because the reality is, Nick, like you guys can beat anybody. Unfortunately, can lose to anybody, but that's like any team. But that is the reality here. Yeah. And I feel bad because 8 gets all of the criticism, Zach. Like literally every time something goes wrong, always him. Usually it should be on number 46, but it's on number 8. Should we start with that Orlovsky clip for him? Yeah. So Dan Orlovsky talked about this game specifically, and it's centered around Lamar. But just want your take and opinion on it. So Dan Orlovsky talked about what the Ravens need from Lamar. Let's play that clip.
The game will be won by Baltimore if Lamar plays his best game.
Absolutely.
This is
not a Derrick Henry game.
Correct. This is the X's and O's of it. Pittsburgh is going to put an extra person down to the football, and they're going to say, you're not going to run the ball on us. We're not going to allow you to be two-dimensional. We want you to be one-dimensional. I honestly believe, in my gut, Mike Tomlin wants the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands. He wants him to feel that pressure. He wants him to kind of play to the style that they force Lamar to play. And I don't think that Mike Tomlin, again, I don't want to put, he 100% respects him, but he thinks he's got his number. He thinks there's a certain style of play, to Teddy's tape, that compression of the pocket, that he can control the game. He does not want to play with 2 safeties deep and say, Baltimore, run the football on us.
So right there, Dan's saying or alluding, Steelers are confident. Mike Tomlin wants the ball in Lamar's hands. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch, but what's your take on Dan's comments?
No, I think he's right. I think we all know how good of a player Derrick Henry is and how much of a game changer our run game has been for us in our wins this season. And, we always talk about in games like this, the game is won at the line of scrimmage. So if they're able to stop us from running the ball, I think that puts them in a position where we're in these must-pass situations. And they got I mean, they got a Hall of Famer on the outside, on the edge. They got a Hall of Famer in the middle. They got a potential Hall of Famer on the back end. And they got some other dudes on the, their defense has been kind of their, has been the best part of their team over the, since Tomlin's been there. And with TJ Watt and with Cam Hayward and PQ and those guys, if they're able to get off, if TJ is able to get one-on-one with a tackle in a must-pass situation, they like their chances because he's one of the best pass rushers in the game. Mm-hmm. And for us, I think we have to be able to establish that run game and be able to control the line of scrimmage because it allows us to open things up, and they can't just tee off one-on-one with our tackles. And so we've always been we've always been a team that wants to establish the run, wants to establish the presence on the front, whether that's offense or defense. And so it's no surprise that they're going to try to stop that because that's how you win football games. And they did a pretty decent job last time around to kind of mitigate some of the run stuff that we had success with in our other games. And so we're going to look to establish that. And look, if for some reason we can't, I mean, let's just look at last week. I mean, Lamar had 5 touchdown passes. And he's playing really, he's playing smart football. He's not making, any, outrageous throws. He's very, very accurate. He's got limited interceptions. Like, we're talking about a 2-time MVP. Like, if it's me, I'm perfectly okay with 8 having the ball all the time. I mean, the guy is a stud. He's one of the best players in football, if not the best player in all of football. And he's the most dynamic player by far. So whether, if they're trying to get 8 the ball, that's fine with us. We got ways to get the ball out on the edge to Justice and to Zay and Isaiah and Mark and Rashad and all these other guys. We got the weapons to do it. If they're, they're going to try to stop the run, we're going to try to run the football. And that's just the nature of the game. I feel like that's just the most obvious statement. Like, yes, if you make a team one-dimensional, it makes it hard for them to win. However, we have a 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson at quarterback with some very talented weapons around him. And I'm okay with that. And I think we are too. But our philosophy has always been dominate up front, establish the run, and we're going to do that. And we're going to look to do that. And Derek is, I'm sure Derek's fuming at the mouth right now trying to rebound from last week, last time we played him with his 1 fumble. And he's going to be looking to make a statement too. And I feel like our offensive line is going to do the same thing. They got a challenge. They got these guys that everyone talks about, that they're the best and they're this and TJ's that. And Campbell's been in the league for 500 years. He's the greatest D lineman of all time.
Beast.
That's, they are. I'm not taking anything away. Those guys.
Oh, no, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You see that mentality. You're like, hey, they're great, but tough shit. We're good too. We got to go out there and hit them in the mouth, Nick. Hit them in the mouth.
We got one of the best centers in the game. We got, one of the best left tackles in the game. And we have a very dominant offensive line. And these guys are going to be looking to set the tone for our team. And they're going to do that by moving people out of the way and getting 22 the ball and letting him get downhill. And then we're going to find out who's man, who's how big a boy is PQ when it's 22-6.
Oh.
So we're ready. I think, these guys are going to answer the bell on that one. And, it's going to be it's going to be a physical ass game. I mean, look at the last time we played. It got chirpy, things were going after the play, personal foul here, personal foul there. It's going to be physical. It's going to be a bloodbath. And that's that's Steelers Ravens football. We don't want it any other way. And
in the mouth.
We're going to answer it, and we're ready to rock. And these guys are going to be ready to go. And we're fucking ready to rock, dude. I don't want to say no one's giving us a chance, but if our defense plays like they did last time and our offense goes the way we know we can go, come on now. We're going to be ready.
I love it, Nick. And you know what? And I can see that's taking out of Kirby Smart's book. No one's giving us a chance. People are giving you a chance, Nick.
They're giving us a chance, yeah.
But, however, I need that mentality because you know what? Pittsburgh's owned your guys' ass. 100%. Take it personal, right? Yeah. And it is. But what I love with this, all jokes aside, just kidding. It's all on you, Nick. But
100%.
This matchup, the fans are into it. The physicality's there. The one that is the most physical and the one that is the smartest typically wins this game. The one thing that we notice here, and you mentioned Derrick Henry's fumble, Zach, and we talked about it before, Pittsburgh is very good at getting takeaways. They're number 1 in the NFL. They actually have the best turnover differential in the NFL, tied with Buffalo at plus 18. So talk about playing clean. The only thing I'd say in that Ravens-Giants game was, and again, we can say phantom calls, we can say whatever, the refs called them. Like they still calling penalties. 10 for 112 or whatever it was.
12 for 112.
12 for 112. If that happens against Pittsburgh, that's going to be rough. I hope they let the boys play. I hope they let them play on Saturday.
They should. I mean, look, we got to play clean football. We got to be, we got to be disciplined on defense. We got to be, we got to play smart football, play with our eyes, not grabbing, George Pickens and stuff like that, getting, defensive pass interference. We don't want to help them out.
Good thing for that. You don't have to worry about that. They just ruled him out, Nick, right before you came on.
Interesting.
So we did break that news to you.
No, that's
breaking news to Nick.
We know these guys are going to be chirping, and that's just the football that they play. They're physical. They get excited. They get in your face. They have all these antics, and it's our job to be poised, not kind of let our emotions get the better of us like the last time, and hold on to the football. If we, if we don't turn the ball over the first time around, I feel like we probably win that game. Mm-hmm. And I think if we can control the ball and control the line of scrimmage, I think we're going to have a really good chance. I like where we're at. It's going to be a great environment in Baltimore, with the best fans in the NFL. And it's going to be a nice, cold night, just like AFC North football is supposed to be. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And, there's going to be – everything's on the line here. So there's going to be shit happening the whole game. It's going to be, nonstop. Every phase of the game, every single play is going to be the biggest play of the game. And, we're excited for the opportunity and for the challenge because, like you said, they've gotten the better of us 8 out of the last 9 times. So it's our turn. It's our turn to flip the script and do what we're supposed to do and play Ravens football.
Damn right, man. And I truly do believe you guys take care of business over the last 3 weeks. It starts with this week. Mm-hmm. I think you guys got a great shot to accomplish your goals for the regular season.
Yeah.
Then we got to get to the postseason. Then it's starting all over again. But Nick, you know what? That's the fire that we need. That's why Nick was the captain for the game on last Sunday against the Giants. You were looking good even in your whites, man. How would you rate Nick's outfit? Pretty good.
Look at Nick. We got to know. Wait, did the Ravens win? Did we win or lose the toss?
We lost the toss. I'm 1-2. I'm 2-2 as a captain.
Who called it?
I did.
Oh,
Nick. No. Nick. Well, maybe that's the thing.
Tails failed.
Oh, you went okay. As long as you went tails, if you went heads, I would have been like, this is.
We'd have won the toss if I went heads.
I would have gone heads personally. I would go heads.
Tails guy, man. When I get the opportunity, all the time, tails never fails.
I will say, and I don't know if she'll appreciate me too. My mother is obsessed with the coin toss. So she wants us to win and defer. Like she thinks it's the biggest. She'll be like, we got in deferred. Even if the other team gets it and accepts to receive, she's like, it's not as good. Like we have to win and defer. And like that sets the tone. Like she is, if we're kicking first, she's like, there we go. We deferred. I'm like, okay, Mom, here we go.
I love Nancy even more.
Yeah.
I love her even more with that.
So I'll let her know, Nick, that you are the reason we couldn't defer last game. Even though it was a win,
we lost
one. Yeah, it's the real. And also, Nick, I do have to ask. Obviously, I know how people on Twitter reacted about, but vibes in the locker room after Derrick Henry cut the dreads. I mean, like, what was the reaction when he walked in?
The first time I saw him, I didn't even really notice it.
Really?
It wasn't until a former teammate who was also Morgan Cox, who's also a teammate with Derrick Henry. He was like, he called me. He's like, did Derrick cut his dreads? And I was like, now that you mention it, he did look different today. So I guess it. He's always walking around with a hat or with his hoodie up. Like,
oh, that's true.
Yeah, he tries to hide himself as if the biggest guy in the locker room can hide himself, but he's always incognito.
No blending in if you
can't when you're a man of that size magnitude.
He was just keeping it low key. He didn't say anything to any, at least to me. I didn't. His locker's right near mine. I didn't notice it. So
clearly, Nick not checking in. Yeah. Derek, how are you doing today? You just probably went by up, and that was it.
Yeah, I checked in on him today. So, but I wasn't looking for his dreadlocks.
Well, maybe you should, and maybe you should work on your call better. What's your record as a captain now?
2-2.
You're 2-2, not for wins and losses, not the coin toss.
No, yeah, you said you're 2-1.
Wait, no, I'm 3-1. We beat the Falcons in 2021, so I'm 3-1.
Okay.
I've been captain twice against the Giants. We're 1-1. I was a captain against the Falcons in 22. We won, and I was a captain against the Bengals in Cincinnati this year, and we won.
Oh,
So
all right, 2-0 this year, though.
So that's my biggest thing we're taking away. So the Ravens are 2-0 when Nick Moore is one of the captains.
Yeah, so I'll tell John put a C. We don't do the C patch, so
yeah.
You know what? We're putting a C. We're getting a Nick Moore shirt, and we're gonna put the C up there. I'm telling you, man, we might be onto something.
Hey, just let them know. Just put the word out there, folks. Let Harbs know Nick Moore needs to be an everyday captain.
Hey, put the word out. Put the word out. We're back.
Yeah, we're
up.
done with Pro Bowls. Nick Moore captain. Nick Moore captain. Vertical threat.
Yeah. Put the word out. The Vens don't lose when Nick Moore is captain, but they will lose the coin toss.
Yeah, you may lose the coin toss, but
I'm 2-2 on the coin tosses. That's
just 50% of the time it works every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
we did against Cincinnati. We won the coin toss.
Proud of you, Nick. Strides.
I was not the speaking captain that game, though. Kyle Van Noy took it.
That's all right. Presence.
Yeah,
it's just your presence.
Yeah. It's just about me in the circle. I intimidate him on the other side.
They're like, oh shit, 46 massive.
Like that dude. He's a long snapper. He looks like
they're like
exactly. Holy shit, that's their long snapper.
I bet there's rumblings beforehand in the special teams room. They're like, remember, guys, they have the biggest long snapper in the league. And then like they're all sitting there. Nick walks out to midfield. They're like, holy shit. They're like, that. There he is.
And especially depending on which jersey combo they're wearing.
Oh yeah.
If you're wearing like the all blacks, you're like, damn, man, that dude looks good. The white being like, damn, I'm still a little scared of him, but like,
he looks doughy.
Is that the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters? The Michelin Man.
They can't tell if that's the Pillsbury Doughboy or if that's football.
Nick, I promise you this. Before the holidays, I'm going to make a reel, and we're gonna have a picture of you. Rocco, you're on this if you're listening. Picture of you looking good, and then you and the Michelin Man. Who wore it better? You know, it'd be great.
100% it was me.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
You were rocking it.
You're a good kid, man. You're good. Seems like the vibe's coming back.
It is
coming back. And you know what? This is just a side note. So everyone was thinking it for that. I'm glad it was just PATs. All the kicks going through.
5 for 5.
Freaking love it. You know, I love it. It's the little things.
He hit the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was striking the ball well. He's been hitting the ball well pregame last week. He hit the ball well all week this week. You know, he understands the situation that he's in and how important his job is at the end of the season like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially after the last time we played him, watch out. 9's coming.
9's coming.
9's coming.
I'm excited, man. We talked about greatness earlier with like Josh Allen and like the whole Lamar Jackson MVP type of thing. We just love greatness, appreciate greatness. And I am a firm believer. The great ones, Tuck is the great one for kickers.
Also,
he's got to figure it out.
Harrison Butker on that missed field goal last week. I guess percentage-wise, Justin Tucker is once again the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Nice.
Makes you think.
Just like that, man. I will say
a lot more kicks. That's why, like, Tucker is that guy where it's like when a new guy comes in, like obviously his kicks will fluctuate. Tucker just like has made so many that he like misses 2 and it goes down like 0.003. Like it's just unreal.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it for so damn long. Well, Nick, we'll let you go because I know it took about the amount of time we were going to have you was the amount of time it took for you to get on.
It took me a little bit, guys.
Yeah, you don't say. You said you were double XL, right? Or are we a triple X at this point?
No, just double.
Okay.
Don't try to come at me like that, bro.
Oh, save it, man. Are we gonna see you on Monday's show, or do we, or no?
It'll be.
I was just trying to say I want to hear some Nick Moore Christmas traditions here, so I want to save that at least for maybe Monday if you're able to join us.
I should be able to. Just depends on our schedule. I don't have it yet, so.
Yeah, well, you got Wednesday game, dude, next week.
I'll have Monday will be like our long day because Sunday will be like a walkthrough in the afternoon. And then Monday will be really our work day. And then
flying Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we'll fly out Tuesday. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to you. Well, you got to celebrate it now. So if you do have time, even before or after, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll find out who the dogs are playing.
We'll know by then. I promise you that.
There it is. There it is. I'm excited for you, Nick. You're a good kid. I appreciate you. You brought us some laughs today. You brought us some laughs.
Last thing before I got to go get my son. But who do you guys got in the 4 games?
I will say, I think Ohio State, I don't want to say the B word, but I have no faith in Tennessee traveling to Ohio State.
I think Ohio State's loss. I'm going Ohio State just because of the embarrassing loss. If they do lose bad, Ryan Day might be done.
Well, so that's the thing. I think they either take the Michigan loss and that's like the fire to light under their ass, and then they get to go and you face Oregon and like that revenge game type, or Ohio State is completely mentally checked out, like they've derailed after that, and Tennessee cakewalks. I think it's one or the other.
I think if Tennessee wins, Oregon's they'll take it to Tennessee.
I think
Ohio State's a harder matchup for Oregon.
I'm sticking with it's going to be Oregon, Georgia national championship, which I think it should be.
What about Penn State SMU?
Oh my! I mean, let's just play the game and then get them on so that they can lose next round. It'll be Penn State, but I don't see Penn.
Well, the winner of that would play Boise, right? 6-11.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, I would take Boise over Penn State.
Let's go.
I legitimately can't trust Penn State in any sort of big game.
What do you got on that, Nick? You got SMU or Penn State?
I got Penn State on that one. SMU was a nice Cinderella story, but if they play like they did against their one good opponent this year, they don't stand a chance.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So you're taking Penn State. I still think Penn State should win that game, but I'd love to see SMU pull it off. Just saying. I'd love to. I'd love the upsets. Are you taking Tennessee or Ohio State?
You know he's going Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee.
It's
shocker.
Of course, SEC.
Yeah. I got Texas, Tennessee, Penn State. I'm actually a toss-up for this one, but I want to say Notre Dame is going to win this game.
This is the interesting one.
Yeah, the Notre Dame matchup.
This could go any direction. It doesn't really make a difference because they're not going to get past the next round. So
I don't know. I think Notre Dame is a team that Georgia doesn't want to see.
The college football wants Notre Dame to have a good run in the playoffs because the last time they were there, it was embarrassing. So
I will say, though, the 12-team playoff, I don't think Notre Dame will ever miss it because they just make their schedule so that they finish with 1 to 2 losses every year, and everyone's just gonna be like, well, Notre Dame's gonna get in because of the look at their record, and that's just Notre Dame playing checkers, chess, not checkers, actually. So
all right,
I'm gonna say Notre Dame.
And then are you taking Texas?
Yeah, Clemson has a chance. They're terrible.
I think that game's gonna be closer.
No, I don't think so at all.
I think Clemson is gonna make it a game. I think Texas should win. But if they lose, Nick, Texas loses,
I would love nothing more than Texas to lose to Clemson, but I just don't see it happening, dude. I don't think it's possible.
I don't either. I'm gonna be honest. Watching Clemson this year, Kate Klubnik has put the steps he's taken. He's a very good quarterback. He's playing very well.
He's
I don't know. Actually, fun fact, Nick, I played football with Clemson's long snapper.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
Yeah,
the more you know.
The more you know. The more you know. He recovered a fumble earlier this year, and I was like, good for you.
No matter how good Kate Klubnik is playing, I just don't see him getting a chance to do anything productive because he's going to be getting throttled.
The thing is, I just don't think it's –
I think
the talent in Texas is just so much more. Like, even if Texas messes up 1 or 2 times, they have the talent to make up for it. Clemson, I think, has to play a perfect ball game.
I do too, but I do think it's going to be how well Texas offense plays. Like that's the one thing for me all the time And that's Texas. I think you could argue they're the best defense in college. You can argue they're at least they're at the top.
Yeah.
That offense, I don't know what the heck you're going to get with them. And that's the only thing I'm saying. If Clemson's able to slow down Texas's offense and it's a slugfest,
yeah,
Texas should win by all means.
I'm going to go the opposite way. If Texas can, the only way Clemson wins is if Texas's offense stops Texas's offense.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out. And then Nick Moore will be back on to show us then that beautiful Christmas tree behind him as well in the future.
The wrong way.
Well, oh, wow. How
The
deep.
Christmas spirit.
You put that up yourself?
I did put that up.
I don't believe
It comes like that. 3 pieces. You stick them together.
Okay, there it is. Well, and hopefully too, man. Hopefully everyone's good. And fingers crossed, Bateman plays, and everyone's happy. But no Pickens, TJ Watt's playing. Should be a hell of a game. And we hope that Nick Moore is a future captain for the Baltimore Ravens. It turns out well.
Super Bowl captain.
Super Bowl captain.
Baby.
I love it.
All right, Nick. Appreciate you, man. I'll bother you in a little bit. And this is our segment of Ryan Ripken and the Soft Georgia Peach. All right. All right, Nick. See ya. Good kid, man. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. You know, it's fun getting Nick going, but it's also, I love his passion in all seriousness talking about this game.
Yeah.
And understanding that they are well aware of the narratives with this game and that they haven't been able to play as well. I do also love the fact that acknowledging, like, yeah, you want how confident that they are when Lamar has to take over. You know, the thing for the Ravens Steelers, it's going to be who's going to play cleaner.
Yeah.
You can play tough, you can play physical, but if you don't play clean, you're going to lose this game.
Yeah, and my favorite comment from Nick was we showed the Dan Orlovsky quote, and Dan Orlovsky says, I think that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers want the ball to be in Lamar Jackson's hands, and Nick's response was, awesome, so do we.
Yeah.
Good. You want the ball in Lamar's hands, so do we. We think that he can win with it. So you can tell the intensity. Like, if you think there's not, I know I've even talked about it before. It feels like sometimes Ravens Steelers isn't Ravens Steelers like it was 10, 15 years ago. When you see Nick Moore get fired up like that, that's coming from inside the building. That's coming from this week's buildup. They know what this weekend means. They know what this weekend means for not only this game, for this season, for this potential Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
All starts Saturday in Baltimore. So
boom, baby.
Lot of fun, lot of fire. Coming from Nick Moore.
A lot of passion, a lot of fire. You know, I wanted us to do a little video on it, but I don't know if it's worth it with this just because we're talking about Lamar Jackson and talking about, like, because the MVP race, we already know what it is. But maybe just because John Gruden cracks me up as far as, like, you know, John Gruden did his own video on Lamar Jackson. And with all the conversations that, the race was over, John Gruden had a pretty just a pretty direct take on what he feels about Lamar Jackson. So let's play that clip for you guys.
Jackson had 4 incomplete passes and 5 touchdowns. They are balanced. They can slam it at you with Henry. They have an array of very good receivers and tight ends, and Justice Hill's a great receiving back. But Lamar Jackson is putting together his best body of work that I have seen. It's really incredible, his statistics based on any NFL standard that you've looked at. He's got 3,580 yards passing, 34 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. I mean, the only 2 guys that I could find that threw over 30 touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions was Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So that's the kind of class that Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball with. And when you combine that with 743 yards rushing and 3 more touchdowns, good God. How is he not the MVP? I mean, it's going to be a shame. Somebody's not going to win it.
I mean, he's right. It's a shame that someone's not going to win it. But I think people, when you're looking at historically what Lamar's doing, I think passer rating right now, I think he's second for all-time season behind Peyton Manning.
So passer rating through first 14 weeks of a season, Lamar Jackson is number 2 all-time. Behind, yes, I think it was either Peyton or Aaron Rodgers, and then the other ones in that conversation were Tom Brady. So very good crowd to be around. If you're going to be around a crowd, you definitely want to be around those 4. And it's really is just incredible to see Lamar Jackson in that company because passer rating has nothing to do with how well you run the football. It has nothing to do with how many rushing yards you have, how many times you've taken off any of that. It is solely about passing the damn ball.
Pass
And
the damn ball.
so far this season, Lamar Jackson, whether you like the narrative or not, has been one of the best passers of the football in the NFL.
Passers of the football, baby. And we're going to find out a lot with this one if Lamar is going to be asked to pass more in this situation against Pittsburgh. But make no mistake, I think the bigger thing with all this conversation with MVP, Zach, it's truly do not put down what other great players are doing. I think that's the emphasis from today's show. Josh Allen, incredible. And if he wins the MVP, great for him. But don't knock that Lamar Jackson is putting together one of the best seasons at the quarterback position that we have ever seen when you combine what he's doing throwing the ball and what he's doing with his legs. Truly sensational, but also Josh Allen's doing some great things too. So we will see what happens with that.
What if instead of, hey, Josh Allen's better, oh, Lamar Jackson's better, this, that, and the other, and we're all going at each other's throats on who we think should win and all that. How about we just talk about and appreciate the fact that this is probably one of the best MVP races that you are going to see. These are two guys playing at some historic football. When you look at metrics, you look at the deep stats for both teams, they're putting up all-time numbers. This isn't just, oh, this is good for this season or, oh, they're tops for this league this year, past 10 years. We're talking 30, 40, 50 years. We haven't seen some of the things that are happening between these two quarterbacks, these two offenses, and you got to appreciate it. You have to. I think Josh Allen ends up winning it. It's going to come down to the final 3 weeks, but man, it is hard to sit here and not be like, damn, we are watching some great football and really two of the top players of all time when it's all said and done in their primes going at it.
It really is a great time to watch these quarterbacks. We saw the end of the kind of golden, or people say a golden era of quarterbacks with the Manning, Brady, Rodgers, Breeze. And yes, Rodgers is still in the NFL, but we're talking about the peak time there. Yeah. Philip Rivers,
Rodgers' body is still in the NFL. I don't know if his skill is.
Well, I saying spiritually, it might be a butterfly, but that's for a different conversation here. New to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I know that people are talking about with call-ins. I'm trying to decide, Joe, if we're going to have call-ins. I know we're going to do stuff on Saturday just because I have to do something right at 5. And I did want to talk a little bit of baseball because I know that people have been on us to talk some baseball.
Yeah. Before we hop into baseball, do we want to talk about the Jets situation real fast?
Yes. Oh my goodness gracious, man.
It's impressive because we keep over this season. We've multiple times we're like, well, it can't get much worse for the Jets.
It can't. It's not possible.
And it keeps getting worse.
Wrong. Zach, explain to them why it's getting worse.
Yeah. So, when the Jets midseason, if you fire your head coach, you fire your GM midseason, usually you're not having success. So it's been a tough year for the Jets on and off the field. Obviously, you have all the Aaron Rodgers drama. You have the Robert Saleh drama. Joe Douglas gets fired. And it just really felt like just a shit show from the beginning. But we're finding out things that happened in the offseason that make it even funnier. So let me pull up this tweet real fast.
Please do.
Jets owner Woody Johnson vetoed a Jerry Jeudy trade in the offseason. As we know, Jerry Jeudy is having a fantastic year now with the Cleveland Browns, just surpassed 1,000 yards. Wasn't skill, wasn't film. It was because his Madden rating wasn't high enough. You read that correct. His Madden rating was not high enough. So Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, said, hey, I checked his Madden rating. Don't like it. He also pushed back on signing free agent guard at the time, John Simpson, who was in Baltimore last year, due to his lackluster awareness rating. So once again, he was looking at the ratings on Madden, and I've seen a lot of tweets about this, and it's hard for me to disagree with. I think the biggest winner here is the ratings intern for Madden, because he did not know he had this much power. I mean, if you're the guys who adjust ratings in Madden, apparently you're picking who the Jets are going after or not going after simply by how you The Jets.
Well, and you know what Cubico said? Is Madden that legit?
No.
Guess so.
I will say, though, one of the funniest tweets I've seen today was someone edited Deshaun Watson's Madden ratings and put 99s across everything and tagged Woody Johnson. Was like, you like what you see?
Oh, my God. You know what? And just hope that, like I'll say, I hope that their story is fabricated. I hope it's wrong. Just because.
Oh, yeah, this is the other part. It was his son who showed him it. So it was his son was the one who was playing with Madden and was like, hey, Dad, don't know if we want Jerry Jeudy or look at Simpson. And which his son's name, I've seen a lot of people, his son's name is Brick. And a lot of people think that should have been actually the storyline. His name's just Brick Johnson.
Bricked up.
Okay.
Last name's Johnson. So I didn't. Goodness gracious. Good kids, man. Good kids. Good kids.
Major League Baseball talk.
Yeah, we need to talk darts sometimes. Yep.
We do.
But honestly, you know what? The sad thing is, to finish that conversation about Brick, is that someone definitely has had to have at some point will make a joke about that.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like way to brick him up, Johnson, or something. And you're going to be like, oh my goodness gracious. You know, there's some names out there that you're going to be set up for some.
This is another one. You know,
I like Lamp.
Brick, where'd you get a grenade?
Yeah. Brick, and that's Brick Tamlin.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the brick. And I don't know if you guys, that was like the beginning of Steve Carell, then really starting to go off from there. Phenomenal role.
Yeah.
That cast, Paul Rudd as Brian Fantana.
Oh my God. Well, that entire, like you said, the cast, it was just perfect. Like every one of those guys just was so perfect for the role that they were cast as. And then the four of them together, that entire, both movies are just incredible. Yeah. All the fight scenes are just the dumbest things ever, and it is the greatest cinema of all time. What is it? The second one where the ghost of Andrew Jackson is in the fight. Like they're like, is that the ghost of Andrew Jackson?
God, man, that's so. I love Anchorman. And the first one for me is fantastic, and also. I love the fact that we love when it gets sizzled. This really, I know we're off topic here. We're off the rails for a moment, but it is a porn name. Like it could be. Don't they say also it's like choose the name of the street you lived on and the last thing you ate could be a name or your last name or something like that. And I think for me, like I grew up on Dover Road, so like if it was
Ben.
Well, not going to be Ben Dover, Zach. But if it's like last food you ate, and imagine the last thing you ate was like, you know, if it was a banana, you know,
Banana Dover.
Ooh. Brick Johnson. It started with Brick Johnson. Oh man, I keep thinking about now Talladega Nights too. I don't know if you know this line.
I was just about to bring this up, Rich.
I
wonder if this was part of it. Like, was DeBrickashaw Ferguson such a big impact in Woody Johnson's life that he was like, I'm naming my kid Brick? DeBrickashaw Ferguson, all-time name.
DeBricked up Ferguson. Dude, it's just, I'm telling you, man, and maybe that's just the bad thing. If the longer he's involved, in Talladega Nights, he does say in the movie, like, Will Ferrell goes like, I'm sorry, I'm bricked up right now. And I think he said something about being, something about in a diamond situation. You know what? We're done. Yeah. Let's move on to the next subject here. End scene. We definitely lost some people on that, but let's get into this conversation about baseball. Oh God, I'm sweating now. New to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button here. Baseball talk. We've had a lot of conversations so far, and I'm sorry, guys. We'll save call-ins for Saturday. We'll be here. I think our plan is we want to do a show for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the college football game, so we're able to get that all in. But we covered football earlier. Let's get into baseball. Really, there's not a ton to report on as far as with the Orioles. We touched on that last night with the happy hour hot stove. And then a recent report, Zach, did you see that one that it's seeming as if a guy like Corbin Burns and I think Bleacher Report put that out.
And Bregman.
Bregman and Corbin Burns are not going to sign until after Christmas.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. So in this case, though, people are wondering, well, why is it taking so long? Well, the players can kind of wait as long as they want technically, and that's a frustrating thing for teams. It's a frustrating thing for fans. Sometimes you have to see it kind of all play out. I mean, hell, we just saw the Nolan Arenado report out there that he vetoed a trade to Houston.
Yeah.
And wouldn't waive his no trade clause to go there. But it was interesting because you just traded away Kyle Tucker. And I guarantee you, Zach, or I shouldn't guarantee, and I'm not going to fully assume, but an indication to me would be that you trade away your best player. I'll say Kyle Tucker was their best player.
Yeah.
And no one wants to win. He's probably wondering, what's the plan for the future? Are you going to sign more guys?
Yeah.
Because they said, that deal's not done yet. But then there's also another player in this mix, the third baseman that they've had there for years in Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
And actually then Ken Rosenthal spoke on Foul Territory today talking about what that means with Alex Bregman. So let's play that clip for you guys and react on the other side.
See Alex Bregman leaving. The Houston Astros under Jim Crane have not been willing to give these monster contracts. They've been extremely successful. Do not get me wrong. But why did they trade Tucker? Because they don't want to go to the $300, $400, $500 million range next year when it's going to be a matter of him being a free agent and them having to ante up. Bregman, they've made an offer. It obviously was not sufficient. It was in the 150s. He wants more. I expect some team to give him more. It could be Toronto. It could be Boston. It could be the Yankees, although it seems to me the Yankees have made their big push with Fried and now Bellinger as far as a financial commitment is concerned. So I don't know exactly where Bregman's going to end up. Detroit is another possibility. Reunion with A.J. Hinch. Mm-hmm. He seems to me, though, a guy that's going to be just fine.
So, yes, I agree. Bregman's going to be just fine. But it also was the indication if you're looking for a player to replace Alex, yeah, the initial report, Zach, was, oh, well, they're not out on Alex Bregman. No, it's done. I think Alex Bregman is going to go to a contending team. He's going to get a big contract, and he's not going to be in Houston. So then the question then is asked, Zach, what is Houston going to do next? Because it really is going to dictate where some of these guys could go. Nolan Arenado, I'm sure, is going to look at some other options, and the Cardinals are going to start looking at other teams for trade partners. But then say Houston goes and signs one of the outfielders that are still available. What if it was a Santander or a Teoscar Hernandez? Would that then become a landing spot for Nolan or somebody else to come in? I don't know. Or do they reevaluate? And do they look at possibly selling another piece like a Framber Valdez? They're in a weird spot. Why I say that, Zach, is because right now you would probably say the Houston Astros are the front runner or at the top of still winning the American League West once again.
Yeah. And I think people it was a down year of sorts, but people are forgetting the talent of Alex Bregman. It even feels like in a lot of off seasons, if there wasn't the past two where you had Shohei and then Juan Soto, Alex Bregman's probably a top two guy that you're like, oh, Alex Bregman's a free agent. So it is a big loss for the Astros, and it's a position that, okay, we assume they're moving on from Bregman. You need to have a significant player take over there if you want to be as good there. And that's why I think they go after Nolan Arenado. But like you said, from an outside perspective, yeah, maybe the Astros on the inside are like, no, we're going for it. We just didn't want to pay Tucker. We got the guys we wanted. Okay, now we're going to supplement here, there, and wherever to then build this team. But if you're Nolan Arenado, you're going, wait, so you just had one of the young, talented players in this league, one of the top, I'll say 5 bats when healthy. I mean, you compare him to anyone, he's going to be at the top. And you're sitting there and you're going, now, why are they trying to get rid of this guy? And okay, now we're seeing rumors of Valdez is apparently on the market as well, right before going into his final year. And so if you're Nolan Arenado, you're also sitting there going, okay, why would I want to go there? If I get there, then Valdez gets traded. All of a sudden we start losing halfway through the season, things aren't going as well, and they fire sale it. Why would I want to go there? So, yeah, I think if you are the Astros, if you want an Arenado, you want him to waive that, you go get a Teoscar, you go get an Anthony Santander, you go and you show him, hey, this is worse. Just because we got rid of Tucker, that was a financial reason. That we wanted to prolong how long we can win and not just go all in this year. But then on the other side, Nolan Arenado, 33, he's coming up on, his time as an elite player. He wants to win. Yeah. He wants to win, and he wants to win now. I hate to be this way. He didn't win in Colorado. He didn't win much in St. Louis. This is a guy who wants to go win. And
he's craving that opportunity, right? And as you just were mentioning about Framber Valdez, or I was, then the reports now saying they're not planning on moving him.
Oh.
So you're sitting there, and I still think if the Astros are struggling during the season that they would consider differently. But so the Astros have pieces in place, and it would be a interesting landing spot. But for Nolan Arenado, I think you want to see what team's going to offer that. And I think that there's some other partners out there that would be very interested. So we'll have to see. But how many teams, to your point, Nolan Arenado is getting older. Which team is going to want a veteran player? A lot of teams want a veteran player, but are they going to want the contract? And also are they expecting him to play at that level, not only for this year, but for years moving forward? So we'll see what's going to happen there. But as you guys can see, and why we talk about this, more moves that happen, it's domino effects. Like you're sitting and waiting on what's going to happen. That's like why the whole Sasaki, we keep bringing it up. Teams are waiting for him to make a decision before then trying to sign other guys. Yeah. Corbin Burnes right now, the fascinating thing is that all the teams that, I guess there's 3 right now, they're still talking to him.
Yeah, there's supposedly 3. It's the Giants, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Baltimore Orioles. Which Orioles still technically, I guess, interested in discussions. I know us too. We don't necessarily think that's how it's going to go. I think we both agree it's going to be an orange and black out west. But yeah, but there's still interest. These guys haven't made a decision. I think, I talked about it after a few days ago. I think we're going to hit this dead period because, like the report came today, Alex Bregman and Corbin Burnes, they're like, I'm going to go have Christmas with my family. I'm okay. I can sign. You're going to get the same deal now versus in 8 days. Hell, you might get more money. Your value is not going to decrease over a 10-day span. So, yeah, I think this is probably, of course, I'll say this and then we'll have breaking news later tonight on it. But, yeah, without a doubt, it seems like we're probably going to hit a lull for probably a week or so.
Yeah.
Before and like you said, I think Sasaki opens the trade market. I don't see any pitchers, big time pitchers, getting traded from the Padres or the Mariners until Sasaki decides, because everyone's still in on him. You want that. These teams don't want to trade assuming they're going to get him, because if you trade your guy and then you don't get Sasaki, now you're looking for a guy. So I think the Sasaki is going to hold some guys up. I think Corbin is going to hold some teams up, even though it's not a lot. I think, even teams that aren't interested in Corbin's going to set a price. So if you're a free agent pitcher out there, like a Minaya, you want to see these pitchers get as much money as possible, so then you can put your case out there.
Yeah. I mean, this time it reminds you how exciting the offseason and Hot Stove can be, and also how it can be so stressful and boring in times. You got to be patient, because it is a game and it's playing the long game. Now, the one thing I would hate to see is for things to travel over towards spring training. That's the one thing I think no one wants to see. So I think we've learned from past years, these deals have to get done before spring training. The guys, the pitchers, the groups have to be going there to their team before spring training. You go in there after, I'd be afraid to sign some of these guys, Zach, just because of what we've seen in the future. So I think we're going to get a Sasaki situation or news, hopefully from now throughout the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
And then I think it's probably similar timeline when you're looking at a guy like Corbin and some of these other pitchers. And once Corbin goes and Sasaki goes, we're going to see the next line of guys continue to go somewhere else. And I'm sure we're going to start seeing these outfield bats start to come off the shelves here. And then we're going to probably see more trades. And another one that we're still monitoring, and we appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It's going to be what the Mariners do, because now there's more and more reports out that teams are interested in trading with the Mariners, a pitcher for a position player or ERS. Josh Naylor is the recent one that has been linked from the Guardians, as the Mariners have interest in him, and they have the pitching. The Orioles obviously have been linked to Seattle. The Red Sox have been linked to Seattle. There's so many different things there, and we know it makes the most sense. And Luis Castillo would probably be the guy that I consider Luis a 2. 2 to 3, whatever you want to consider him. Very good pitcher. Team control. That's very appealing to a lot of teams. I doubt that they would give up one of their stud younger pitchers unless it was something they couldn't refuse. And I don't think that a lot of teams are going to want to do that, Zach. So we're going to have to see what happens. And then once again, we talked about it last night on the show, Dylan Cease. And it just feels like things are going to happen, but it takes sometimes one more move to happen for it all to start unraveling again. But in the meantime, everyone can be stressed. Everyone can figure out what it means, but it's all going to be good. It's all going to be great. It's all going to be shagadelic.
Pache to the Diamondbacks. You will never be able to take that infield single from him as a Baltimore Oriole. 1-for-1, batting 1,000 for the rest of his life as an Oriole. Can't take it away. I was at that game too. Not to say that I'm the reason, but
you're the reason.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's you, but
it was me.
It was you. All right. I think we're getting close to being our time up. That was good. That was great. That was grand. Anything else, Zach, before we get on out of here?
No, I think good show. We covered a lot. We had some good guests on. Q's always great to have on. Nick Moore also joined.
Hey, by the way, Soroka to the Nats. That was one I saw. I think it was a 1-year, $9 million deal. I think I saw. Guy with upside. I believe I faced him in the minors, and he has had a lot of the injuries and trying to get back on track.
He's an injury guy. He's just one of those unfortunate, what feels like so many guys deal with these days, where when they're healthy on the field, you don't get much better, but it's, can we rely on you to go more than 3 straight appearances without tweaking something and getting on the IL? So hoping for the best for Soroka. I think the Nats are a good spot for him. Nats are going to be a fun team this year. Nats are going to be a really fun team this year. They have a lot of young. They remind me of they could be like the 22 Orioles. I don't know if they make a push for the playoffs, but I could see them ending up in that 83 to 85 win category. Just a fun team. They got some good pitching, I think, that can put it together. The very young lineup that's going to go through ups and downs, but there's no lack of young talent there right now. And Ethan Holiday might get added to the farm system in June. So
we're going to find out.
I think the holidays have to be, if that happens, if that's got to be a dream scenario for a family like the Holidays. You get Ethan and Jackson, if both go number 1 and just 50 miles apart.
Less than that, man. It's like 35.
Yeah.
Or 30 or 35, but it feels like about 700 when you have to go down the Parkway. Love the freaking Parkway.
Ryan's favorite.
My favorite. Oh, shirts and pants. All right. We're going to get on out of here, but on Saturday, join us in the morning. I think we're shooting for around 10-ish.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun in here. It's a huge game. Ravens, Steelers. We're going to get you right. It's also the college football playoff. Going to be a blast. We're going to have the gridiron golf going. We might be taking it to the lots for the tailgate. We're going to have content from the lots. I am excited. I am ecstatic. And we cannot wait for what should be a great game. And then we'll also have a lot to react to. In this case, we're reacting to the Ravens, evening it up with the Steelers, with 2 games left to go in the NFL regular season. Woo! All right. Time to cue the music. Oh, this is some nice brick.
It did again. We're playing the music, but I think it's just not
connecting.
Oh, wait. I think. All right.
That was delayed.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate all of you guys here at the Ryan Ripken Show. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking weekend, but we'll see you Saturday morning to get you ready for Ravens Steelers. Peace, everybody.
Peace. Oh, yeah. Sammy Sosa apologized.
Sammy Sosa apologized. This is some great brick.
Yes. Wow.
Great brick.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you. I missed the button.
You did miss the button.